Hello everyone, happy Wednesday to you. One thing that I want to discuss, or a couple things that I want to discuss, but the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the concept of what you focus on will grow. My teacher Brian, my yoga teacher Brian, said this to me a very long time ago. Well, not a very long time ago, but a couple of years ago. And I found it to be a very valuable piece of wisdom or advice. And I think it's absolutely true in so many ways, because the reality is we are always constantly focusing on something, subconsciously, or it's not really in the forefront of our awareness, but we've always got some running tape of thought, which is ultimately a visualization. It's a focus that we have in our minds, and what we focus on will grow. So if you're constantly thinking about stuff that's not necessarily very positive, if you're unhappy with the way you look, if you're unhappy with your occupation, and the thoughts that you allow to move around in your head are thoughts like, I hate the way I look, I think I'm fat, or you say stuff like, I hate my occupation, I wish I had a new job, this job sucks, and that sort of thing. When you start to think of in those negative terms, you're focusing on negativity, and what tends to happen is more negativity emerges from it. You never seem to really be able to escape that horrible outlook that you have. I say this not like just out of the blue, or I say it as something that, not as something that I have not actually experienced myself, because I have experienced it myself. That's the beauty in life, is playing with things. So you don't just take what somebody says and you go, oh yeah, that's absolutely true. No, you focus on it, or you look into your own life and see if in fact it is true. And for me, that statement that what you focus on will grow is absolutely true. And I'll give you examples. In the past, I focused on a lot of negativity. My running tape in my head was definitely about doubt. I doubted the world. I doubted the possibility of wonderful things happening in my life. I doubted that I could actually do what I love to do. I constantly had negative thoughts towards the occupation that I had, and would wonder why in fact I seemed to be cursed working in a place that I hated. And what happened when I thought those thoughts is usually I would end up feeling pretty depressed. I would feel angry, and it continued. It never got better. It just continued to seemingly get worse. And in fact, it was getting worse. So what I began to do is change my focus and focus on more positive things. Now, it took a lot of time to undo some of that. You know, because if you imagine you've got this running tape in your head that continues to go and go and go, and it's sort of like a snowball coming down a hill. As it goes down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to undo that thing, that negativity, if you will. You have to undo it piece by piece and slow down its motion and begin to, bring into your life a more positive stream of thought and focus on more positive things. Which brings me to my second point. Most people want things to happen right now. Like if they suddenly wake up and realize that they're disgusted with the way they look, they feel unhealthily, that's not a word, but they don't feel well. They feel overweight and stuff like that, and they want to change it. But instead of focusing on how to change it in a positive way, they still have that running tape of how disgusted they are with themselves. And that just doesn't help. Yes, it helps to be disgusted. Being disgusted with your life inspires you to change it. And that's just simply the truth. When I personally was disgusted with being an angry, negative, depressed person, and felt in fact that it was sort of life or death for me, and I needed to change it, and I needed to focus and do all that I could to begin to change it. So being disgusted is a very positive tool, but you can't continue to be disgusted and hope that life's going to get better. You have to actually put into practice positivity. The mind is 50%. That's not a scientific fact. I'm just throwing out a percentage. It might even be more than 50%, but it is a huge percentage of your well-being, the healing of the mind. And I'll give you an example of that. On Monday, I wasn't feeling well. I didn't express that in my video log, but I had sort of an unusual headache, a migraine. I felt really ill throughout the entire day. I managed to make it through the day, but I still was sick, even up until I began to teach my yoga class at 7:30. I was feeling not well. I just felt really imbalanced. As soon as I began to teach my class, I completely forgot about how I felt. I felt really positive. The energy in the room was wonderful, and afterwards I did not feel sick. I felt really, really good. And that has something to do with doing something that you love, doing something that brings enthusiasm into your body and into your life. So that's evidence right there that when we think positive thoughts or we do positive things and we do things that we love, that it elevates us to a whole different level, right? And it has a healing quality to it. But we are a society of instant gratification. We want things right away, and you can have it right away, absolutely. But you can't expect the positive thoughts that you begin to bring into your life to take hold automatically, because there will be deeper parts of you that will doubt the things that you're trying to convince yourself of, the things that are true, but that huge part of you will doubt it and will resist it and will fight it. It takes everyday effort. And that's why I believe that whatever you want in your life, in order to get it, you have to be required and be responsible for this moment now, because every little moment leads up to any future goals or wants that you might have. This moment right now shapes what you want. So it's not about the let's say, I'll use the example, I think I used this one before, that you want to own a gym. It's not about the day that you finally have the opportunity to go and try to get a loan to open up the business. It's not about the day that the doors open. It's not about any of that. It's about the now that you have in your hands. It's about the opportunity right now to believe that it's possible. If you're someone who wants to own a gym, or in my case, I don't want to own a yoga studio. Well, if I want to own a yoga studio, then I need to practice yoga, right? I need to be constantly aware of the practice of yoga, because without that, what's the studio worth? Nothing. It's worth nothing. It has no quality if I don't build the quality within my own heart and within my own life right now. So every little thing that we do is shaping and moving us toward what we want. Of course, there are goals, there's certain things that have to be done that will also shape you and move you towards those things, but it's the now, it's the little tiny elements of life right now that are, in fact, the future. Everything is in right now. So you must be patient, you must have faith, and you must know that, in fact, you already are the thing that you want to become. So me, yes, I'm not doing yoga teaching and life empowering and writing completely full time, but I know that I already am that person, and all that's required of me is to take the actions and to do the little things. That in itself, by putting that energy out there, will return to me. It is absolutely the truth, and I can prove it in my own life because I'm teaching yoga. I mean, in a matter of months, I went from teaching only 2 classes to now teaching 6. So it happens rather quickly, but only if you're patient and you're willing to take care of your present moment and the little things that you're doing. So what you focus on will grow. Have faith in that principle, because it is absolutely true. And right now what I'm focusing on is getting the heck off this video. I got stuff to do.